Casey White on charges for escaping jail and murder.
More than a week in the making, there's a new lead in the search for an escaped convict and former corrections officer.
Exclusive new video of the final chase of that fugitive couple after 11 days on the run.
May 9th, 2022, Florence, Alabama. A corrections officer walked a dangerous inmate out of jail. Her name was Vicky White. The prisoner was Casey White. No relation.
Overnight, escaped prisoner Casey White led in handcuffs into this northern Alabama courthouse, facing additional charges following the end of that dramatic jailbreak and 11-day manhunt that left his accomplice, former corrections officer Vicky White, dead.
Casey wasn't an ordinary inmate. In 2015, he went on a violent crime spree. He invaded homes, held people at gunpoint, and fired at police. He was already serving 75 years for attempted murder, robbery, and kidnapping. On top of that, he was awaiting trial for capital murder.
He's being blamed now for the death of a prison official who helped him escape. Casey White and Vicky White ran from Lauderdale County Jail in April. The manhunt lasted 10 days and ended in southern Indiana.
He was accused of stabbing a woman to death in her own home. Vicky wasn't a rookie guard. She had worked in corrections for 17 years. She was admired by coworkers, trusted by inmates, and known for her discipline. She won Supervisor of the Year 5 times. So when she suddenly sold her home for well below market value, people noticed.
That maneuver, authorities believe, was key. The pair, who investigators say had a romantic relationship for as long as 2 years, was armed with this arsenal of guns, according to the sheriff.
She pocketed the cash. She bought weapons and a getaway car.
Expecting the return of the getaway vehicle allegedly used by the duo, and once that vehicle is in the hand,
she was preparing to vanish. Surveillance video showed her leading Casey out that morning. It looked routine. It wasn't. Deputies believed she was driving him to a mental health evaluation. The inmates thought he was headed to court. It took nearly 6 hours before anyone realized they were gone.
Entirely for a moment for another major story that is more than a week in the making. There's a new lead in the search for an escaped convict and former corrections officer out of Alabama.
The escape made national headlines. Authorities warned the public Casey White was armed and extremely dangerous. A man 6'9", covered in tattoos, now free. And the woman who helped him wasn't a stranger. She was one of their own.
Yeah, certainly a lot of twists and turns, Regina. They've got multiple law enforcement agencies at the state, local, and federal level just looking for any clue that could lead them to Vicky and Casey White. We spoke to the sheriff here in Lauderdale County, and he tells me today they're expecting the return of the getaway vehicle allegedly used by the duo.
The manhunt exploded. The FBI, U.S. Marshals, dozens of local agencies.
We got a dangerous man off the street today. He is never going to see the light of day again.
Press conferences were held. Tips poured in from across state lines. Communities were on edge, told to lock doors and stay alert.
Exclusive new video of the final chase of that fugitive couple after 11 days on the run. The escaped prisoner taken into custody after officials say the former corrections officer took her own life.
For 11 days, Vicky and Casey stayed ahead.
The car chase ending in this ditch.
The fugitive task force members actually rammed their vehicle, pushed them into a ditch.
They ditched vehicles.
And $29,000 in cash, believed to be part of the $90,000 Vicky withdrew leading up to the escape.
They paid in cash. They lived out of motels. They tried disguises. At a car wash in Evansville, Indiana, cameras caught them.
Discovered in the car, police say wigs Vicky used to disguise herself, camping and survival gear.
Casey walked across the lot. Vicky wore a wig, hoping to avoid detection. The disguise didn't work.
The two of them fled in her patrol car. Vicky had spent the night before in a motel near the jail. Authorities say she'd bought men's clothing from a department store beforehand so that Casey would have something to change into. After they left the jail, the two of them ditched her patrol car in a parking lot.
On May 9th, exactly 11 days after they escaped, officers tracked them to a motel. When police moved in, the couple fled in a Cadillac SUV.
And these exclusive new images taking us inside that dramatic high-speed chase that led to his arrest and Vicky's final moments. Casey and Vicky here in this Cadillac fleeing a caravan of police vehicles in hot pursuit, the car chase ending in this ditch.
The chase didn't last long. Marshals rammed their vehicle. The Cadillac flipped into a ditch and was pinned down.
With nowhere to hide, officers piling on 6'9" Casey in a white undershirt and dark sunglasses, the 38-year-old finally in handcuffs and back in custody.
Inside, Casey surrendered.
Crashed out, still inside the vehicle. We could hear her on the line saying she had her finger on the trigger. Female is still armed.
As they surrounded the duo, authorities say Vicky shot herself, later dying at the hospital.
Vicky did not. She picked up a gun. One shot. She ended her life before capture.
Dramatic new police dash camera video capturing the intense moments the fugitive was apprehended Monday in Evansville, Indiana.
Casey was pulled from the wreckage, bloodied, shaken, but alive.
Discovered in the car, police say wigs Vicky used to disguise herself, camping and survival gear, and $29,000 in cash, believed to be part of the $90,000 Vicky withdrew leading up to the escape.
Inside the car, investigators found thousands in cash, wigs, and weapons. It was proof of how far they planned to go. In 2023, Casey went to trial for her death.
Casey White, an inmate who escaped from the Lauderdale County Jail with the help of a corrections officer, was in court this morning. That's the video you're seeing now is from that appearance. White is facing 2 murder charges for cases 7 years apart. Both were addressed this morning.
The courtroom was packed. Prosecutors argued Vicky died because of the escape she orchestrated. The jury agreed.
And today, Casey White has been sentenced to life in prison for his escape from the Lauderdale County Detention Center.
Casey White was found guilty of felony murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. He will never walk free again.
Well, dozens of people showed up here today at the Lauderdale County Courthouse for Casey White's his sentencing here more than a year after he and jailer Vicky White fled Alabama and kept hidden for 11 days.
The case shocked Alabama. A decorated officer, a convicted killer, a plan built on obsession.
Then on May 9th, authorities in Evansville, Indiana, law enforcement there spotted a vehicle suspected to be driven by Casey with Vicky in the passenger seat. That led to a chase that ended in a crash and ultimately their capture. Following the crash, authorities say Vicky shot and killed herself. Casey turned himself into authorities.
It ended in a ditch on an Indiana back road. One dead, one imprisoned forever, both destroyed by a deadly escape.